So there's a content trend happening right now that I honestly did not expect. The big promise with generative AI was scale. More posts, more videos, more output. But here's the problem with that theory. The easier it gets for anyone to generate content, the less valuable that generic content becomes. And that means real writing is getting more valuable again. Audiences are craving authentic voices and people that they can trust on Substack, YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, in email newsletters, everywhere. So the creators winning right now aren't the ones publishing an infinite amount of content. They're the ones sounding the most human. Speaking of, my name is Ryan Ellis. I'm a full-time human creator, and a big part of my livelihood depends on knowing what actually works online. In this video, I want to show you how we got here, what audiences actually want out of content, and most importantly, share the antidote for AI slop that'll help you succeed as a creator. So let's go ahead and dive in. We all know that these days you can tap a button in an AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude and get back a finished article, script, image, or even a video clip of your AI avatar talking. And for years now, creators have been told that we needed to get with the program and use generative AI for everything or we'd be left behind. And I'll admit, AI has genuinely gotten better over time. So even if you don't like it personally, it is silly to admit that AI can fill a page with decent sounding words or generate an image that looks roughly like what you asked for. And with that kind of progress, you'd think that the proponents of AI content would be winning in the content game. But they aren't. Something has changed. I've been doing content for a long time, not just with videos and social posts, but also as a freelance blog writer. That was actually my side hustle for about 5 years, ghostwriting for a handful of different companies. And guess what? One by one, they all dropped their need for writers, including me, because they could do it themselves thanks to AI. It seemed like this brave new world of AI content was here to stay, and it was going to crowd out genuine creators with something to say. Well, fast forward to this month, and I've had 4 of the companies I used to ghostwrite for reach out and ask if I would like to write for them again. Totally out of the blue, was not expecting this. And when I asked why, each of them told me that Google was nerfing them in the search results because their blogs show up as nearly 100% written by AI. So they want me to write for them again with the stipulation that I write the articles myself and not use AI. And at the same time, Google recently announced that it's prioritizing non-commodity content, which it defines as original, experience-led material that cannot be easily replicated by AI. Non-commodity content requires hands-on expertise, first-hand data, a unique perspective, moving away from generic interchangeable listicle information such as 7 tips for buying running shoes. I know you've seen those articles in the past. And this same trend is happening on big social media sites like YouTube and Instagram. I just saw this headline on Reddit about YouTube tagging videos that make significant use of AI, even if you as the creator don't label it yourself. And I see Instagram demanding that I label any content that uses AI as well, every time I go to publish a new post. So what's going on here? It's not complicated. Most AI generated content just isn't that compelling. AI is really good at producing the average of the internet. The problem is, average is exactly what the internet has too much of already. And whether you're a search engine or a social media platform, you want to surface the kind of content your user base is actually looking for. So if audiences aren't interested in AI slop, then their algorithms have to adjust accordingly. Which brings us to tip number 2, what audiences actually want now. Imagine you're on a street full of sit-down restaurants, and one fast food restaurant opens up on that street. This one fast food spot stands out from the crowd, so you naturally want to try it, if only for the novelty of eating something different, right? But what if 50 more fast food restaurants open up that are identical to that first one? Before long, you don't want fast food anymore. You're craving something real again, right? And that's basically what's happening with content right now. A lot of AI content works like fast food. It looks polished enough and it's quick to produce, but after a while you realize it all has the same tone. Honestly, it just feels flat and generic, like it's not saying anything of substance. And if you were the only one producing content that way, you could maybe get away with it, but clearly audiences are getting better and better at sensing when AI is involved in content creation, and they are actively rejecting it. In fact, there are studies that show younger generations like Gen Z are increasingly skeptical of artificial intelligence. This Gallup study found that over the past year, Gen Z's sentiment towards AI has become significantly more negative on 3 of the 4 emotions first measured in 2025. Gen Zers' strong agreement that they feel excited about AI has dropped 14 percentage points to just 22%, while hopefulness has fallen 9 points to 18%, and anger has increased 9 points to 31%. Now, at the same time, anxiety about AI is steady at 42%. These are the people who could be watching your videos, commenting on your posts, buying your products, and joining your community. And honestly, you don't even need a study to just feel what's happening out there right now. People may not always be able to prove that something was made with AI, but they can feel when a piece of content has no real point of view, when it's generic, when there's no one really behind the content. So if you want to stand out, you just need to share a real opinion, a real story, a lived experience. Have a take, get a little controversial, believe something, don't hedge or qualify yourself. What's rare becomes valuable, and these days authenticity and genuine connection are high in demand. And that brings me to the next tip, which is what creators should do. So far in this video, I've talked about the many problems associated with creating generic AI generated content. And that leads us to two questions. Should you ditch AI altogether? And what else can you do to compete with AI content? Now let's take them one at a time. First, should you ignore AI completely and keep doing content the way you've always done it? I'm sure there are creators out there who will choose that route, but I do think that's a mistake. The reality is you can find valuable AI tools and features that represent an opportunity to be creative without losing your authentic voice and value. Beyond that, I think it's going to get harder to keep up with the velocity of competing creators who do use AI if you refuse to use it at all. And that's just the brutal reality of the times that we live in. But using AI doesn't mean compromising the integrity of your content. If you decide to use AI to help you with content workflow, you just have to stay aligned with what audiences actually want. So in other words, you don't have to reject AI, but you should use AI to accelerate your thinking, not to replace your authentic voice or experience. To me, the best use of AI is upstream. Use it for research, use it for ideation, use it for outlining, use it for feedback and suggestions on your work. But when it comes to viewpoint, writing, final expression, and actual interaction with your tribe, that part still needs to be yours. And of course, this is only if you decide to use AI in your workflow. Because no matter how powerful AI tools get, the currency that really matters in the AI age is trust. Trust leads to attention, retention, belonging, and durable audience value. And that brings me to my second point on what creators should be doing right now, which is fostering a community. Because in a world full of infinite content, people don't just want more information anymore. They want spaces where they can interact with real people, share their passion, and feel like they belong somewhere. In fact, I've heard some top community owners who say that coursework and content in their communities aren't the real draw these days, for the same reasons that I've been talking about throughout this entire video, and that is content is cheap and abundant. Now, good content is obviously still valuable, but if you want to deepen your relationship with your audience, community is even more valuable. That's where people can verify what's real and get access to you and to other people just like them. Personally, I build my community on Sphere, because it keeps everything, which is members, content, payments, chat, all in one place instead of duct taping 5 different tools together. And the link's in the description down below if you want to check it out. I really do highly recommend it. Okay, so to sum all of this up, the big promise of generative AI was scale, more content, faster. And yes, AI absolutely delivers on that, but the flood of generic content has changed the equation. Now, the easier it gets to generate content, the less impressive generic content becomes. And that means you need to lean in on the things AI struggles with, having a real voice, real experience, real taste, and real trust. Actual writing matters more now and stands out more than ever. And for that same reason, community matters more now too. So no, I don't think the answer is to panic about AI. And I don't think the answer is to ignore it either. I think the answer is to use it wisely, use it where it sharpens your process, but don't let it replace the parts of the work people actually connect with. Because at the end of the day, your audience just wants someone they can really believe in and a place to belong. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. If you got value from this video, please let me know down in the comments below. Do you think AI is making real writing and real community more valuable? And don't forget to subscribe so you can see more content just like this by creators for creators. And I'll see you in the next one.